Welcome to Lesson 11. This is where the code you've been writing finally becomes software you can ship. The mental model is 3 layers of confidence: Vitest and testing. Library prove your components work in isolation. Playwright drives a real browser through real user flows, and a multi-stage Docker build packages the optimized bundle into a 30-megabyte nginx image. Tests, build, ship. That's the pipeline we're walking through today. Let's lay out the 4 pillars. Vitest handles unit and component tests. Same config as your dev server, runs on every save, catches regressions in the things users actually touch. MSW sits 1 layer up, intercepting fetch calls, so your data layer is tested against fake handlers that mirror your real API. Playwright drives real browsers through critical flows like login and checkout, and Docker multi-stage builds compress all of it into a 30-megabyte nginx image. No node modules, just static files served fast. Starting at the bottom of the pyramid, component tests with Vitest and Testing Library. The rule is simple. Query by role, type into inputs, click buttons, then assert what the user would see. Notice there's no reaching into state, no shallow rendering, no checking which hook's fired. You grab the button by its accessible name, fire a real click, and verify onAdd was called with the right payload. Refactor the internals all you want. These tests keep passing. Move up 1 layer, and you hit the network. Mock service worker intercepts fetch at the HTTP boundary, so your tests talk to a fake API that mirrors the FastAPI Capstone shape. Define handlers once for products, cart, and token. Then boot the server before all tests and close it after. The senior move is mocking at the boundary, not wrapping fetch. Bonus: the same handlers double as offline mode in dev. Now climb to the top layer. The real thing. Playwright drives an actual Chromium, clicks real buttons, follows real redirects. This spec walks the critical path. Log in, land on cart, browse products, add 1, verify it shows up. Notice the locators: getByLabel, getByRole, semantic queries that survive refactors. 3 to 5 flows like this, gated in CI, and you ship with confidence. With the tests green, it's time to ship. 1 command, npm run build, and Vite hands off to rollup, tree-shaking unused exports, minifying and splitting your roots into separate chunks. The output is boring in the best way. Plain HTML, JS, and CSS in dist, ready for any static host. Notice cart page and login page broken out as their own bundles. That's lazy plus dynamic import, keeping the initial payload under 50 kilobytes gzipped. Now we wrap that dist folder in a container, and we do it the right way with 2 stages. Stage 1 pulls node, 22 alpine, installs with npm sci for reproducibility, and runs the build. Stage 2 starts fresh from nginx alpine, copies only the dist output and a tiny config, and exposes port 80. The final image is around 30 megabytes. No node runtime, no source, no secrets. That last line, try files falling back to index.html, is what keeps client-side routing working on a hard refresh. Step back, and you've got 6 reflexes that separate hobby code from production code. Query by role, not by class. Your tests survive refactors, and accessibility comes free. Keep MSW handlers matching your FastAPI shapes so contract drift fails at build time. Reserve end-to-end for 3 to 5 money paths. Never every form. Multi-stage Docker, every time. Wire CI as test, build, ship. Green check equals deploy. And ship source maps to Sentry so prod errors stay readable. Pin this slide somewhere. It's your daily driver. Top row is your inner loop. Vitest run for a one-shot, Vitest watch for TDD, and render plus screen when you reach for testing library. Middle rows cover the verbs you'll actually type, user event for input, getByRole and getByLabel for queries, vi.fn and vi mock for spies, and MSW handlers for network. Bottom row is the ship path. Playwright for end-to-end, Vite build for the bundle, and a multi-stage Dockerfile to package it all. Now, the failure modes. 5 ways a green pipeline still ships bugs. 1. Testing implementation details like wrapper state or handler methods. Refactors break the tests, but real bugs slip through. 2. MSW handlers drifting from the backend generate them from the OpenAPI schema instead. 3. 100 flaky end-to-end tests is quality theater. Pick 3 to 5 critical flows and make them rock solid. 4. .env files copied into your Docker image and pushed to the registry. Add them to Docker ignore and pass secrets at runtime. And 5. Skipping the production preview, because Vite Dev forgives what Vite Build won't. Time to put it into practice. 3 exercises, each one a layer of the pyramid you just learned. First, a unit test for Add to Cart with Vitest and Testing Library. Assert the click fires on add. Assert the button disables while pending. Second, an end-to-end login flow in Playwright. Boot MSW with the Vite preview. Fill the form. Assert the cart route. Third, the multi-stage Dockerfile, Node Alpine Builder, nginx Alpine Runner, and you'll watch your image drop from 150 megs to about 31. Same cart UI from lesson 0, now production ready. And that's lesson 11 in the books. Vitest, MSW, Playwright, and a multi-stage Docker image, all checked off. Professional tag complete. Next up, the GRAD tag. Lesson 12, the cart UI full stack Capstone. Vite, React 19, TypeScript, ZooStand, React Router 7, and Tan Stack Query, wired straight into the FastAPI backend. Login, cart, checkout, Dockerized end-to-end. Time to ship it.